I'm Colin Donohue, and I'm the School of Communications Director of Student Engagement and Alumni Relations and an instructor of journalism. I've chosen 5 Coen brothers films that are available to stream right now. I've been fascinated with their work for a long time, and I remain fascinated by it today. Their films are always beautifully shot and tightly written, great dialogue and characterizations. There's not another director's work I rush to see as quickly as the Coens. And yes, that means I was first in line to see Intolerable Cruelty. When I was a student at Elon, I wrote a paper for a film class about the Coens. Some of the research I did detailed the different types of characters that appear in Coen brothers movies. One of them is a blustery fat man. Big ups to national treasure John Goodman for playing that character in literally every Coen brothers film. But I'll tell you what, if we're quarantined through the summer, I might get the part as the blustery fat man in the next Coen project. Film number 1 is Raising Arizona, a 1987 comedy starring Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter that you can find on HBO Now and Hulu. Plus, John Goodman's in it as, you guessed it, a blustery fat guy. Fantastically shot by Barry Sonnenfeld, Raising Arizona tells the story of an ex-con, Cage, who marries a cop, Hunter. When they can't have a baby, they decide to kidnap one from a set of quintuplets. Child abduction isn't funny. Controversial statement, I know. But it's hard not to chuckle when Nick Cage is running from the police down a dark street with pantyhose on his head and carrying Huggies diapers. Next up, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, a Western anthology that was made for Netflix and released in 2018. It features 6 short films, and the entire thing is both silly and grim. I was struck most by the short starring Tom Waits. It's a gorgeous short film about a prospector searching for gold, and it features a happy ending that also belies my experience with Tom Waits and his music, which I found a bit depressing. My dad would make me and my sister listen to it on car rides, and it got to a point where his song Ice Cream Man was the only one I found slightly upbeat. But why was I listening to that song at such a young age? It ain't about ice cream, I can tell you that. The Coen's first big-budget studio picture was the Theucker Proxy, which you can find on HBO Go and HBO Now. It's a Preston Sturges-esque screwball comedy with Tim Robbins in the lead as a Midwestern rube named Norville Barnes, who takes a job in the big city working in the mailroom of Theucker Industries. Paul Newman plays the villain, whose plan to gain a controlling interest in the company by depressing its shares involves putting a dolt in charge. So Barnes is named president. But the plan doesn't work because Barnes invents the hula hoop. You know, for kids. That brings us to the Big Lebowski, which is, not for kids. It's a near-perfect comedy with Jeff Bridges, Steve Buscemi, John Turturro, and John Goodman. This is, to me, Goodman's finest hour. The movie's on Hulu, and the story kicks into gear when 2 men break into Lebowski's house and pee on his rug. The movie is eminently quotable, weird, hilarious, seemingly plotless. It's a fantastic film noir, and it involves bowling. So one time I bowled a 267, hashtag humble brag. I've had 2 children, but I think rolling a 267 may be the proudest moment of my life. I mean, it is mentioned in my Twitter profile. And speaking of my social media, my Instagram profile name is It's an Ethos. It's just pictures of me and my bowling balls spending time together. But I chose that handle, It's an Ethos, because CM Donohue wasn't available, but also because it's one of my favorite Coen brothers lines, which comes from Goodman's character Walter Sobchak. Say what you will about the tenets of National Socialism, dude. At least it's an ethos. My last film is also my all-time favorite movie. It's Fargo, and you can watch it on Hulu. Frances McDormand won an Oscar for her performance as Marge Gunderson, a pregnant police officer in Brainerd, Minnesota. The loneliness and depression of the film and its characters is matched by Roger Deakins' stunningly bleak cinematography. The movie also gave us this great joke from Marge. Say, Lou, did you hear the one about the guy who couldn't afford personalized license plate? So he changed his name to J3L2404? Coen brothers were popularizing dad jokes back in 1996. So there you have it, my 5 picks for Phoenix Flix, all Coen brothers, all the time. Be well and be safe, everybody. Happy viewing.